everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, the traditional custodians of the land on which these videos are made, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides and the universal energies. I did say I was going to do a few different readings today because, well, the energies are interesting, stuff is happening. I think I've read on just about everything, including Nimitz class ships going back, gosh, over probably about 6 months, interim governments. I've been talking about those for over 2 years, etc., so forth, and let's have a look at something a little bit different. So what do I want to have a look at? I want to have a look at the Stonehenge altar stone. I've actually had this noted down for about a week, and it keeps getting transferred day after day to the next day's reading. So why do I want to have a look at it? Well, what is identified as the altar stone, it's known as stone 80 in official publications, scholarly articles, is apparently dating from a Stonehenge building phase from around 2600 BCE, before current era. So we're looking at sort of 4,600 and something odd years ago. Pretty much pyramid, pre-pyramid period type thing. So long time ago. Well, why do I want to have a look at the altar stone? Because it appears that the altar stone, so a lot of the stones in Stonehenge of that building period identify as coming from Wales. And the altar stone was originally thought to have come from Wales, which is, over there a little bit. If you're looking at the map of the UK, and there's Stonehenge and Wales is just over there. But what's happened is recent research has actually taken the chemical and mineral makeup of the stone and trying to find out where it did actually originate from. It identifies as coming from a place called the Orcadian Basin that's actually in northeast Scotland. Well, how far is that? That's 450 miles to move a 6-ton block that becomes the altar stone in the late Neolithic period. This is pre-wheels, this is sort of pre-rolling logs as well. It's very much in the flint knapping stage. So this is pre-metal, as in iron or bronze or copper or any of those metals. So it's really interesting, and I want to have a look. Now I'm going to use the Osho 10 tarot. This was my mother's deck, and I've got my Lightseers tarot here as well. And my guides have also told me to get out the Star Trek Next Generation tarot deck that was sent to me by one of my lovely viewers. Now, I'm not saying there were aliens involved, although I did go to a lecture last night actually. It was a great lecture, part of a science series that the local university puts on every year. An astrophysicist who was talking about where we came from and where we're going. So very fascinating lecture last night. So pretty much there were a few theories thrown around in regards to the stone. I mean, that's a 450 miles, doesn't sound long in today's terms with motor vehicles and trucks, etc. And big diggers and all the cranes and all the rest of it. But this was a 6-ton sandstone block, huge block of solid stone, moved without the use of wheels back 4,600 odd years ago. Okay, so 750 kilometres, approximately 465 miles, just to throw another 15 on there. Okay, the discovery indicates that the Neolithic British societies maintained a level of long-distance transport that historians had previously thought impossible. Now, I've got an article in front of me from futura-sciences.com. So there was a theory, and I'm getting a pull to Doggerland as well. There was a theory that the stone had been brought down from Scotland by a glacier movement, heavy glaciers during the last ice age, and ended up near the Salisbury Plains, and therefore they sort of dragged it over and used it, but that's been discredited. The heavy glaciers, last ice age was between 33,000 and 11,700 BCE. There was a theory put forward, it was tested, except the only problem is there were no glacier flows in that direction. The glacier flows tended to flow across the country, not down the country. So, because nature did not move the stone, transport was obviously a human effort. Let's see where this takes us. What have I got there that's popped out? Letting go. So this is the 8, I believe. This is the 8 of, what have I got? Blue cups. Letting go. Letting go of old ideologies. Letting go of being holding on to old emotional ways of thinking and walking towards something new. So what else do I need to have a look at this? The scientists or archaeologists are saying maritime transport along the coast remains the most probable method. Construction of barges or dual-hulled canoes capable of stabilising a 6-ton weight required. And also it did require then an advanced skill of carpentry and understanding of coastal tides and currents. We underestimate our ancestors, absolutely. And I've always gotten that we understand their ability, their technology, and something came across my view this morning about how historically archaeologists have said, it was a very male-dominated society, this Neolithic, because of the volume of hunting tools and butchering tools, the flint tools. But what's happening also is there is a real big pushback about the majority of products that were created and used by the women of the society were made from materials that then break down and return to the earth. So the baskets, the nets, the fishing lines, etc., the clothing. Okay, so there is this rethink about historical society, about our Neolithic society. Okay, so, and was I talking about it yesterday, or was I talking about it to somebody else? I can't even remember. About the big ditches that, it might have been via an email or something, the big ditches that have been uncovered that have been carved out of solid stone using antler tools and wood that has been hardened over the fire, etc. So, yes, we have very much underestimated our ancestors of the day. Now, I'm just going to put it out there. I am a night owl. Shocking, shocking, shocking night owl. If I get to sleep before midnight, it is an absolute miracle. Usually it's about 2 o'clock in the morning. What science has shown is that night owls are about 10% of the population, very similar to people who are left-handed, because it was the work of those, and it's actually they're proving that it's actually a genetic condition, being a night owl versus a morning lark, because we were the people that stayed up at night and tended the fire, often having also spirituality in our genetics, or powerful spiritual going back, like shamans, etc. But we were very much the fire tenders, keeping the tribe or the cave safe from the saber-toothed tiger, etc. And we would stay up the majority of the night doing so. So really interesting learning more and more about the history of humanity. Okay, but what's also interesting is that it talks about the actual timescale for such an undertaking to this article to move the altar stone down from Scotland to Stonehenge. What we do forget is that there pretty much wasn't a lot else to do. If you had a successful hunt, if you had a successful gather, if you had enough food and fuel collected for the tribe, they didn't sit around and watch the telly all day. They didn't sit on YouTube and chat. They didn't read books. They gathered together and they undertook activities that were mutual for the whole community. And whether this is this pit digging or whether this is bringing these massive stones into a central location. So the timescale for such an undertaking challenges modern assumptions about the construction. Doesn't mean it was made overnight, and the fact that the communities who built Stonehenge operate on a completely different timescale to what we do now, spanning years, but not just years, tens of years, hundreds of years. Okay, so I want to have a look because my guides, when they yap at me, they yap at me. When they start talking about turnpike again, I will bring that up with you again, but they have been talking about limits for, oh gosh, 6 months or more. They're talking to me about Doggerland at the moment. So I do wonder whether this stone supposedly came from this particular area in Scotland, but if the glaciers were going across the country, and for those that know their geology, Doggerland is the section of land that pretty much connected the UK to Europe. It's quite shallow, the channel, and Doggerland was believed to have been swamped at the end of the last ice age when there was a massive collapse of an ice cap. So pretty much this massive tsunami swamped over the whole area, and it's been a channel ever since. So tell me about the altar stone. What do we need to know about this altar stone? Stone number 80, it's called. Let's have a look. Came from Scotland. It is, let's have a look, from the Orcadian Basin. Okay, got the Seven of Cups projection. Projecting our, so this is very much about projecting our modern day human understanding onto our emotions, onto something that is from the past. Okay. Without actually knowing. Okay, so this is why I'm doing this reading, because I want to have a look, a bit of a deeper dive, so to speak. Okay, so the projections. We've got to be careful when we undertake archaeology, especially in regards to this early human Neolithic times. And as I said, the end of the Ice Age, nearly 14,000 years ago. Okay. Which is, they have found at the end of the Ice Age on the British Isles in the UK, woolly mammoth tooth, rhinoceros, I understand, saber-toothed tiger, a lot of these creatures that we do not necessarily expect to find in the UK. Okay, so we've got to be careful that we don't project our modern view onto this particular event. So it's given me a bit of a warning. Okay, let's keep going. Come on down. What sort of reading am I doing? Okay, projections. You want to sit there. Okay, the challenge that I've got out here is the Seven of Swords, politics. The politics of forcing our modern views onto this ancient society. Okay, this is really interesting. This is the challenge. Politics and 2 sevens as well. I've been getting a lot of sevens. I'm just going to pause you for a moment and just check what the angel number 7 means. Hang on a sec. I should know this all off by heart, but memory, like I said, especially when I'm channeling. So the sevens with the angel number resonates with the vibrations and energies of the collective consciousness. It's an awakening of the collective consciousness of faith and spirituality. It's also manifesting and manifestation in time and space, interestingly enough. Actually, that was something that the astrophysicist lecturer was talking about last night, was when she was talking about the beginning of the universe, what is rumoured to be the Big Bang moment. She did briefly touch on, but because she's very scientific based, she didn't quite go into, but the fact that we have parallel time and space. So 7 tells us of beneficial time with obstacles that need to be overcome. Now, if I have a look at the 7 in the tarot, it means waiting, introspection and surprises. It urges us to rethink what we believe we want to be true. It is a message of caution, but it is also a message of patience and persistence that leads to growth. So that's really interesting in regards to these first 2 cards out, is to, beware of preconceptions and have a rethink and an introspection. So the challenge is this political view of the past of humanity. So that's really interesting. Okay. At the bottom, we've got, it's a major arcana, it's integration, and it's the number 14, which is the same as temperance, balance, moderation, finding a middle ground. It's also pouring from cup to cup water to create alchemy, to manifest something that's out of the ordinary, but it's very much about finding balance. So tell me what I need to know about this altar stone. Finding a balance. Now that could mean simply balancing it on the dual canoes with a raft in the middle or something, but let's see where it goes. In the past, we've got abundance. What's this? This is the King of Pentacles in the past in regards to this. Pentacles being very much about of the earth. So this was a plan, this was action taken with something of the earth. King of Pentacles. Let's see where this goes. And then we've got the 2 of Pentacles, moment to moment. The juggling on the seas. Okay. Balancing on the seas. And the balance card here. Okay, I'm starting to think that it might be, Pentacles again, as I'm saying, Pentacles are an earth product. But as you see here, this guy, he's sort of skipping from one safe point to the next with the rocky seas in behind. Okay, they very may well have brought it down from via water, via the ocean and waterways, rivers, etc. Okay, and what we've got here is the existence, the magician. Again, the manifestation, we've got existence here. This is a belief in the greater of oneself. Got the shooting star. I mean, can you imagine in those days when there were comets? I was lucky enough to see Halley's Comet. Even during the day, it was as clear as coming across the sky. Can you imagine in those days the magic that would have created, the magic of existence, the reverence, the immediate future, but again, the magician, the manifestation of something that if you put enough energy into, you can create anything. Okay, let's see where this goes. Externally, we've got the outsider, which is the Five of Pentacles, outside the church. People that are locked out. Locked out or locked in? I don't think either. What am I getting from this Five of Pentacles? The challenge. Again, we've got this earth challenge. I'm feeling this is a locked out from from knowledge externally. So this might be in the here and now, locked out from the knowledge of how they actually undertook this. And then we've got the Ace of Pentacles internally, the opportunity with maturity here. The Ace of Pentacles being presented, the opportunity being presented and being taken. Could have rejected it. Usually there's the path going through the archway. Not locked out of the knowledge and the maturity, which was the opportunity that presented. Okay, I'm going to ask a different question in a minute, but let's finish this one. Again, here's this Ace of Cups. It's about letting go of preconceived ideas based in emotion. The Eight of Cups, letting go. The outcome, the thunderbolt. This is the Tower. Again, a tearing down of what was based on unstable foundations to bring forth something new. I think this altar stone, the way it came to this particular position, is nothing what science is talking about. This could be a glacier bringing the stone down. Okay, let's see where it goes. Then we've got the Six of Swords. This is about, it is burdensome, but the Six of Swords is usually about moving forward on water. But this particular one is on land. The Six of Swords on land, the burden on land, taking it across land. Let's see where we go. And then we've got the Trust card. This is the Knight of Cups. Trust that the truth, trust that we know the truth, trust, like this is very much about trusting that you'll be caught, trusting that the truth is going to be revealed. Okay, so the question I actually want to ask, because what I'm getting from that is the stone did not arrive in Stonehenge by the means that the current theoretical speculation is indicating. I keep hearing Doggerland, Doggerland. Was this altar stone, stone 80, that came from this basin in Scotland? My question is, was it carried down into Doggerland by a glacier? So we've got the first card out is the King of, well, the King of Pentacles again, of the Earth. Then we have the Queen of Cups, the receptivity. So this is the king, and if you have a look with this Queen of Cups, flowing downwards, receiving. And water, I mean, glaciers are frozen water. So this stone flowed down this water glacier, this glacier. Right. We've also got the Knight of, oh, this is the Knight of Swords. I must have been the Knight of Cups earlier. Sorry, my bad. We've got the fighting, the Knight of Cups. The truth, fighting the truth. I don't know how this would ever be proved. This is also about a truth coming forward, being prepared to not change one's opinion when faced with new evidence. And then we've got the Ten of Pentacles, which is very much about, if you have a look at this card, a unity around the world, people around the world, knowledge from around the world. It's also about an ending and a beginning, and it's making me think of the World card with the ending and the beginning. I think this is more about unity around the world. The Fool, new beginnings, uncharted waters, but it's also very much about trust and instinct. Trust that the universe has got your back. Trust your instinct. But again, coming off the cliff into an area, into a new area. It's got that glacier feel about it. And there for the picking with the Nine of Pentacles. There for the taking, the abundance. And then we've got the Four of Cups, turning in, going within, trusting within. But again, we've got this flow of water down. Okay. The determination to control. This is really interesting that the two swords cards we've got are very much about this intellectual science community pushback. This is the King of Swords here. A need to be right, a need to be controlled, fighting this intuitive possibility. And then we've got this, again, this Nine of Swords. This moving on water and then dragging across the land. There's something more here. And then we've got the Three of Pentacles, the working together to create something beautiful. Okay, where are we going with this? I'm getting very much that the scientific community, they've got their preconceived idea of it coming by raft and then being dragged. But this is not actually what happened. We've got these communities coming together, community coming together to make this occur. The stone coming down the glacier, again off the side here, ripe for the picking, and going within and asking if this is what is real. And again, you've got the water here. Okay, so I am going to say yes, I do feel that it came down via a glacier to the east. I know Stonehenge is on the west, but I get that it came down to the east. So it may be a combination of things happening here. Can I have a look, please? Did this altar stone arrive? Was it taken to the Salisbury Plains from the area we now know as Doggerland? which was the area between go with the flow, the Ace of Cups. I mean, an ace is a yes card. Again, we've got this water energy. Glaciers are frozen water, but this is also then, there's a flow here, using the natural currents. A huge intensity. This is the Knight of Wands. Intensity of an idea to move something forward. A plan, using the flow. Why am I feeling there was a domesticated large animal that was used? Like pulling along a canal type thing or along the riverbank. I've never seen anything that indicates that anything was domesticated, but like a mammoth or an elephant or something like that. Why am I getting that? Okay, we've then got the Queen of Pentacles. The inspirational female, the matriarchal energy. She's got the food and light and feminine sharing and goodness about her. And success. The Six of Wands, victory. But also you've got here the figure riding the tiger, which is a wild animal. I can't help but think there was some sort of large animal domestication here. And I know this is really way out on a limb because I love my archaeology, and there is absolutely nothing in archaeology findings so far to indicate anything of the sort. But this female energy with this plate of abundance and sharing and nurturing to tame. Okay, let's see where it goes. Right, we got the Nine of Cups, sorry, the laziness. Nine of Cups, is it usually a lazy card? Is it the Smug Merchant from Normally? I wouldn't say laziness, I would just say smart. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune turning. Something changed. Changed in the consciousness, the Ace of Swords. There's a change in consciousness here. A change in like a new development that comes out. Okay, we've got the Five of Wands here. This could be a coming together. It's also about a tearing down, usually, a conflict, a competition. But for me, this is very much about a coming together, working together to create something more. The Two of Cups, working together, friendliness. And then we've got the Ten of Wands, the suppression, this being suppressed. However, we then have the beyond illusion. This is about, it is the Judgment card, but it is about a big wake-up call. A huge wake-up call where there is something new that is delivered. And then we've got the Emperor, about the power, the control. And then we've got participation, the Four of Wands. Again, working together. I really can't help but think there was a use of what would be considered a rather large wild animal. Okay, I'm going to grab a different deck and have a look to see whether it brings me a different answer. What am I going to use? Telling me, yeah, I'll use the Light Seers. Let's have a look. The Light Seers Tarot. Again, this is my mum's deck. I have my own deck somewhere, but this one is my mother's. I think I've put mine away because I prefer to use hers. So what I'm getting right in regards to this altar stone, looking at something from a different point of view, bringing forward the expertise of light, creativity. As my guides were talking to me and showed me last night, the Ascended Masters, where we need to be creative and communicative and using our natural abilities and talents to uplift others. So, was this altar stone, and I could grab pendulum or my rods, but I just want to ask the altar stone, Page of Pentacles, Page of Wands, so two new energies, the Knight of Cups, and then the Ace of Pentacles. And then we've got the Ten of Cups on the bottom there. It's going to do the head in from some scientists as this, I think, as this is revealed, because we've got this female strength again, and then we've got the beast of burden, utilizing the beast of burden, and the Hierophant. So the Page of Pentacles is very much about new information being brought forward about something to do with the physicality, the materialistic world. The Page of Wands is new messaging, new information. Knight of Cups, it's there on offer if they are willing to look at it. And here's the Ace of Pentacles, it's on offer. The Ten of Cups, the unity, the working together, a completion. With the Five of Swords, as I said, it's going to do the head in of some scientific communities, because what was used, it's going to, okay, thank you, it's going to turn it upside down. It's going to turn the previous conceptions of the scientific community on its head as this information comes out. Again, as I said, this nurturing feminine energy. I mean, look at her with her oneness with nature in regards to this materialistic object, utilizing a beast of burden with that Ten of Wands. And this is about making it happen. I always come back to, if you believe you can or you can't, you are correct. And until somebody does, it's not possible. No, but it was thought to be impossible to break the 4-minute mile until somebody did, and all of a sudden everybody's doing it. The Hierophant, this is about deciding what solution you want and then taking the steps to bring it back. Now, I'm not saying that this figure captured and nurtured or whatever this beast of burden to make this happen, but I suspect that there was already this relationship between this feminine, nurturing female feminine energy, ability that enabled this to happen. Oh, this is very cool. Now, if you're wondering what cards I glanced at, we've got the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Wands. So this is again about looking at different options here. And you've also got the Seven of Cups, but again we've got the river here that can be traversed and the naysayers on the side. Ten of Swords, intellectually taking a leap. Six of Pentacles, working together to bring this about. Six of Swords, moving it along on water, and the Moon card. Again, a watery energy, but something that has been laying at the bottom of the ocean that will be revealed in regards to this. I'm seeing footprints. My guides are giving me a vision of, and there's the yes. My guides are giving me a vision in the channel where Doggerland was. So I'm seeing, this is really, I know, I'm totally out there at the moment. I'm seeing, so you've got the UK, and on the eastern side of the UK, which is towards Europe, there was something that was called the Doggerland Bank, or thereabouts. There was a stage where it flooded. Now, I'll just, I should probably look at that a little bit further. Let's have a look. Doggerland tsunami, right. When did that occur? Because, right, there was a large area of land in the northern Europe now submerged beneath the North Sea. The region was repeatedly exposed at various times during the Pleistocene epoch due to the lowering of the sea levels during the glacier periods. Okay. So how long ago are we looking? Right. Okay, around 12,000 BCE, Great Britain, as well as much of the North Sea and the English Channel, was as an expanse of low-lying tundra. In about 10,000 BCE, the north-facing coastal area had lagoons and salt marshes and mudflats. As the ice melted at the end of the last ice age period, the sea levels rose, and the last of it became submerged about 650 BCE. So how is this tying in? Because this is about, what are we looking at? This is about, so it was the 6,000 BCE versus 2,600 BCE. Because what I'm seeing, and it sounds really bizarre, is I'm seeing, like, if I say elephant, but it's probably mammoth footprints being discovered in what was like boggy, marshy land that then fossilized up, or however it happens, with human footprints next to it. Almost like the human is leading the... I'd love to hear what you guys are seeing. It's almost like the human is leading this mammoth or whatever. And yeah, two aces, how about that? But these periods are 4,000 years apart. So I'm getting the stone came from the east, not from the north. I mean, originally it would have been in the north in Scotland, but I'm getting that it came from the east. Sorry, while I nut this out, tell me, why am I getting it coming from the east? What do you need to show me? I don't have any decks, I don't think, with bloody mammoths in it. Let's have a look. Why am I getting that it came from the east, not down from the north? And I do feel that they will eventually trace this out. King of Pentacles popped out. Why am I getting it? Oh, and on the bottom, the King of Swords. Two kings, action cards, physical action, intellectual action, knowing, knowledge, wise, materialistic, protection. I love the wolf there as well. I mean, there were wolves around that time as well. Let's have a look. King of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, an offer being made, the Wheel of Fortune that changed everything, and then the Emperor taking control and making it happen. Sitting on Mars, which is the planet of action, planet of war, planet of can be aggression, but he's holding the chess piece here. You've got the strength, female strength, the Chariot, working out how to move it, and the Ten of Cups. So very different energy here. What I'm getting here, this first line, is very much about we have this stone. It's being offered up. Now, I don't know how it got offered up, whether it was found on the edge of a marsh or something from where it final resting place. I don't know how it was offered up. But this is about, yes, we will have it. But then you've got this feminine energy controlling the beast to move it, and you've got this coming together in this unity with the Ten of Cups. Two of Pentacles, the spiritual and the practical. But again, there's this movement which broke down all preconceived ideas, was transformative. And then we got the Ten of Pentacles, community coming together. It's almost like a knowledge that got forgotten, because you've got it being moved here. The female energy, taming the beast, hitching up and moving it with the assistance of something that's not human labour. You've got a unity coming here and community here as the altar was put into place. Very much a watery card, making it happen. Community after community after community, perhaps coming together and making this happen. Stages. I'm getting stages here. This is what my guides are telling me. There was stages. So it wasn't just this there was more than one method, and then the tower. But what happened changed the course of history, I'm getting here, with the Ten of Pentacles. There is this restriction in the thought process, and the High Priestess. Trust your instinct. So this is like a scientific restriction. Oh no, it couldn't have happened, but trust the instinct. On the bottom, we've got the King of Swords, the King of Cups, the Queen of Swords. So we've got three kings out plus the Emperor. The Emperor is the amalgamation of all the kings coming together. We've got the Queen of Swords, the intellectual female energy, the scientific, the knowledgeable female energy combined with this female energy here and here and here, with the communities working together. But this is not looking outside preconceived ideas. Trust your instinct. Okay, I might leave that there. I think we're going to find out one day how that altar stone got there. I think it's going to be, I mean, when was it? 2020. Sorry, my computer cut out then. That was really interesting. Something didn't want me to continue this video, so I'll just wrap it up now. I hope you didn't lose too much. What I pretty much got is the information is going to come out at some stage, but the article about this altar stone coming from Scotland was published only a few months ago, so it wasn't that long ago that they realised the altar stone came from Scotland. And then I think there's new information to come out about where the stone actually, it originated from Scotland, but how its journey to get to Stonehenge. Don't ask me why I felt like reading on this. It was just something that just really grasped me and fascinated me, because it is very much a shift in the thinking of the process and the understanding of the people of the time. Okay, I'm excited because we need to really understand our history, the reality of our history, to be able to move forward. And I'm just looking at my computer and it's 333, the Ascending Masters. I shall catch you when I say 333, the time, PM in the evening, afternoon. Fascinating. Love to you all. Take care.